When I was talking to my boyfriend yesterday, we were saying how easy it would be. Because I'm like, it would be that easy to change this world, completely turn it on its head. Well, even though it is the easiest thing in the world to do, it is the hardest thing in the world to do because we are educated to not do it from the age of 4. We're the only species that isn't being farmed. Obviously we are, in my opinion, but we're the only species that's taken away from their mother before they are ready to leave their mother. And when we are taken away from our mother, we are religiously implanted thoughts into our mind. The monarchy is the shit. Nothing else can be done. This is the way your world is run, and that is it. And that a bloke, a magical man, died for you and for me to save us. We're already saved, but he's coming to save us again, just in case we fancy saying anything about how crap everything is. This is why we don't change it, because we have a ridiculous education. We are educated in lies. We are educated in things we do not need to know. Now, I know that I am not going to be particularly popular for taking on the church, because so many people are told that the Bible is the word of God.
To be honest, there are people in the world who think that God doesn't exist. That doesn't stop me from believing.
Well, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Of course God's a fact. It says so in the Bible.
And it's that kind of logic that doesn't help the situation.
The Bible is not just the words of man. The Bible is the work of evil people. And because it tells you in there, believers, and because it's given to us by people in absolute power, we believe it because we're good and we have been lied to. Look at the Pope, for instance. Now, I don't know much about this Pope, but I know that John Paul, something or another, Sigmundson, that is years ago, had something like 100 odd pairs of gold and jewel encrusted shoes. Look at the size of the house that the Pope lives in. Did Jesus build himself a mansion before he spoke to anybody? No. Are we born with a little bloke stood there going, right, you deserve this, you deserve this, you deserve this? No. Because we're all born naked and alone, with only our 2 hands, and the products on the earth to make things with. That's all any of us have. There is no such thing as a silver spoon. That is one of the watchwords they implant in our education to let them get away with it. We've got the World Cup coming up. Cracking. Flags. Flags are fantastic. Queen and country. I am fighting for Queen and country. I am bombing Afghanistan for Queen and country. I'm committing suicide in a bunker because I don't want to kill anybody anymore, and I miss my mum and they won't let me go home for Queen and country. Emphasis on country. So sorry. I want to make it make sense. Because when we do it, it's like my mum, right? If I talk to her on any of the separate subjects, right? She'll be like, yeah, you're right. Talk to her about money, you're right. Talk to her about Hitler, yeah, you're right. Talk to her about school, yeah, you're right. She says, yeah, I agree with everything that you're saying, but I don't think it's got anything to do with the Queen. And we've argued about it. I've sat and sobbed my effing heart out. And she just laughs at me. She is very well educated by the system. My boyfriend did for the longest time. Go like, no, it's not the Queen. But the reason we think that the royal family is it is because the royal family are in ultimate charge of our education. People that go round that have literally had more of that, they go, oh yes, well, I think you'll find that the Queen only costs us 65 pence a year. Oh, shut up! Because that gets us nowhere. And moaning and going, oh yes, well, I've remembered this fact from when I was at school about how fab the Queen is. I think you'll find, you know what I mean, that I'm sorry, but this is independent thought that I'm coming up with here. I'm not telling you something I've read somewhere else. Please. All we have to do is realise that the Emperor is naked. We run this world very, very well. We are an amazing species, but we run it under the orders of evil people, and we have to grow up and realise it, because nothing will change until we do. They will carry on getting away with it. We have a large hadron collider. We are trying to recreate the Big Bang. And people on our planet don't even eat. We weren't asked if they could try and recreate the Big Bang on the planet. And there are multiple machines on the planet that are doing that at great expense while we don't all eat. Young families being kicked out of their homes because numbers don't add up. And all of our earthly resources and manpower being gathered together, sent to Afghanistan to kill people who are innocent. And we do it for Queen and country because we have a sense of pride. And our sense of pride is misguided. We were lied to. And when we start to put our sense of pride in our species, rather than one member of it that tells us extensively from the age of 4 whether we want to know or not that they're fantastic, till we actually start becoming intelligent. There is nothing. What is seen as intelligent in today's society is how much of the stuff that they tell you that you can remember more than other people. Intelligence is not linked to independent thought, because independent thought makes you fail your exams. It works for the benefit of the people who own it all, and the people who own it all educate us to wave flags for them. They stick symbolism everywhere so that we always know that they're the shit. Anton Deck every Saturday night tell us that the Queen is the best person you could possibly sing for. Are you good enough to sing for the royal family? We are surrounded. Football. God save the Queen every time it starts. Actually, I can prove it myself. This, my dears, I don't know whether you can see it, is Queenie Seahorse. Tell you the story behind Queenie Seahorse. My second husband, Elizabeth Taylor over here, used to tell me I looked like a seahorse when I blew him kisses. And when I decided I was having a tattoo when I was 29, I saw this picture of a seahorse and thought, well, that says, you know, who I am. Now, I just found the internet back then as well, and I used to sign in everything as Queenie. Like, do you know who I am? Blackadder. So I drew the crown on the seahorse myself, right? Took the picture of the seahorse, went, it's all right, but I want a queen on it. I want it to be a queen. Because queen, king, that's the ultimate goal. That's what power is. That's what the best of everything is. Elevation. I'm better than you. I've got a crown. Look how much bigger I am than you are. Nonsense. Absolute crap. But I received the same education. Right? I grew up thinking that the Queen is the best thing to be. I do know what I'm on about, and I am not making this up.